One of the biggest complaints about Ranged had always been the ammo consumption. With the Combat Modernization update, Jagex has taken another shot at fixing it. So what actually changed, and more importantly, is the upkeep of arrows finally in a good spot? I'm Wings of Posterity, a ranged content creator. Let's find out. So what exactly changed? According to the patch notes, which by the way, the tooltips don't even tell you this information in-game, ammo now has a 15% chance to break, and if it doesn't break, it gets dropped on the ground under your target. And if you completed the Animal Magnetism quest with a fully upgraded Avas device, it just stays in your ammo slot. For things like chinchompas, bolt racks, and hand cannon ammo, they'll stay in your inventory if they don't break, regardless of quest requirement or Avas devices. So for endgame completionist players, what this basically means is you have an 85% chance to keep your ammo and a 15% chance to lose it across all ammo types, including Elder God arrows and Bacromio bolts. Now on top of that, the 120 range game adds another 10% chance to save ammo, but the wording here is a bit confusing. Is it a flat 95% chance to save ammo? Or is it still a 15% break chance, but with a 10% chance to override that break? I'm leaning towards the second one, but it's not entirely clear. The most important change though is how ammo is consumed. Before, ammo was calculated per hit splat, but now it's calculated per action, meaning per ability or per shot. So for something like Greater Ricochet, which can hit multiple times, before you could lose multiple arrows at once. Now at most you only lose one arrow per ability. This alone is a massive improvement. All of this sounds great on paper, but let's actually test it. I did a 1 hour session at Hardwood Forecast, starting with 1000 Jazz Dragonbane arrows, 1000 Foe arrows, and 1000 Deathspore arrows, and I also used the 120 cape for this test. In one kill, I used 12 Jazz Dragonbane arrows, 4 Foe arrows, 4 Deathspore arrows, so that's 20 arrows lost in a single kill. And after 19 kills in 1 hour, I used 203 Jazz Dragonbane arrows, 73 Foe arrows, and 40 Deathspore arrows. That's a total of 316 arrows lost per hour. So the next question is, how much is the 120 range cape actually saving? To test this, I removed the cape entirely, and let's see what happens. After an hour, which was 19 kills, I used 215 Jazz Dragonbane arrows, 94 Foe arrows, 19 Deathspore arrows. That's a total of 328 arrows lost per hour. So it does appear it is the latter one. So far, I've talked about ammo consumption, but what about ammo production? I did 2 Zac Reaper kills, which took about 28 minutes, and from there, I ended up with 2,533 full anima. So let's assume we're working with that amount and go through the full process. First, I gathered 2,500 propellants, which took about 9 minutes. Then I collected 2,800 dine arrow tips, which took about 11 minutes without a beast of burden. And finally, 2.5k hair strands, which took about 10 minutes with a crystal knife. Now, because the future of portable fletchers is uncertain, I decided not to use any portables for this test, but I will use a maxed Ranger's Workroom at Fort Ferenthy with the effect of making the arrows faster and the player-owned farm with a hen with a farm totem and a 120 fletching cape. After putting everything together, it took me 12 minutes to create 2,698 full arrows with some extra materials remaining. So if we're counting the time it took to collect the anima, it took me 1 hour and 10 minutes to produce 2,698 full arrows. Based on the first test with the range cape, it would take about 8 hours for me to consume that many arrows. Recreating Deathspore arrows, on the other hand, does require the offhand, but that shouldn't be too bad considering I only consumed very few Deathspore arrows in that hour. So what's the verdict? ammo consumption has been significantly improved, and from my testing, production can now outpace how quickly I actually use the arrows. But is that enough? I've shown you my results. I'll let you decide, especially for iron players, whether this feels sustainable or not. For me personally, this is the best ammo consumption has ever felt. That said, if this still isn't acceptable, then where do we exactly draw the line? Thank you for watching, subscribe if you enjoyed, and bye bye.